What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Interview Studio at South by Southwest 2024. I am sitting with the team behind Cold Wallet. Thank you for being here. Huge congratulations on your film.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cutter, you're getting my toughest question of the bunch because I know what Cold Wallet is. A lot of our viewers are first going to learn about it through South by. Would you mind giving a brief synopsis for film?
Yes. Cold Wallet is a crypto-heist thriller that follows a kind of ragtag group of Redditors that get revenge on a financial influencer who screwed them over in a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. How's that?
I like it. You came prepared.
Cool.
I feel like that question always stresses everybody out. No one wants to give a short and sweet pitch of their movie.
Oh, no, I love that.
I thought you were asking what a cold wallet is, which is what my parents asked me last night when I was talking to them, and they did not understand the answer.
I get that.
Or, yeah, anything that I said to them.
You know, so. I think the easiest way to think of it is a cryptocurrency exchange is a bank, and a cold storage device is a little bit like a mattress, holding your money under the mattress.
Say that. Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't matter how much time I've spent looking into cryptocurrency and blockchain and all that stuff. There's always something that doesn't quite compute.
It's almost like
100%.
They don't want you to understand so that they can steal all of your money.
I mean, that might be part of it. I have a silly question to start for each of you. I want you to tell me, if you had to go on a heist, what would you steal? And then I want to know the member of the Cold Wallet ensemble that you would most trust to be your partner on that heist.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, the second part is easy. I think we're all taking Melonie. We're all taking the character of Ava. I mean,
Not the character, the person.
Well, both. Yeah, both.
Okay,
Frankly, both.
I'll
Yeah,
take that.
I will take actress Melonie Diaz, and I will also take character Ava.
Yes.
But the what is hard.
What are you stealing?
What
Yeah.
are you stealing?
Probably like Harry Potter memorabilia.
I was going to say Jurassic Park memorabilia.
We're both going memorabilia. Okay.
Oh my God, obviously.
Where do you? So I know where I would go. I would go to the Harry Potter Experience in London to get my loot. Where would you go for Jurassic Park?
There's a I can't believe I can't remember what the museum is in Hollywood where they have the original Jurassic T-Rex head and
Wow.
I really want the original screen. I've thought about this a lot. The original screen used raptor claw that Alan Grant keeps in his pocket.
Very good. I would want
fake
the goggles where it's where he says are those heavy? Then they're expensive. That's what I would want. The
I like that. I don't want to derail this too much, but I feel like you own.
Sure?
I feel like you own movie memorabilia now. What is the coolest thing you own?
Oh. Well, so I don't really have stuff, but I did. I was recently at my friend Jason's house, and he does have such cool stuff. He has a Back to the Future hoverboard, and he has Indiana Jones Last Crusade, the tablets. So he's
Screen used original stuff.
Yeah,
That's so cool. That's so cool.
This one's also fairly easy for me. It would be some kind of a puppy heist, some kind of a dog heist, where we would break free purebred dogs from breeders or something like that. And then we'd buy a multi-acre farm with all the money that we had lost by doing the heist to rescue all the dogs. No, I don't know. Well, yeah, it'd be some kind of a thing, and my wife would be there, and our very decrepit old mutts would come with us. And probably my mother, because she rescues a lot of animals. This would not be a very efficient way at all.
You have a lot of baggage.
Oh, dude, just a lot. I don't know. There'd be a lot of us in this whole ragtag group.
These are all the right answers. I'll pitch you, Cutter. I want I guess it wouldn't be a Cold Wallet cinematic universe, but make a heist movie cinematic universe, and then we want a movie memorabilia heist and a puppy heist.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that you're maybe the one who took Lady Gaga's dog. Did you just confess? Did you just confess?
I must confess, I shot that dude, and
I love that Gaga tune.
I know
That's a good Gaga tune.
All right, you're not
Took
getting
that
out of this. What are you
Frenchie.
stealing?
I'm joining. I'm joining Tony's
Yes.
heist. It
I'll
sounds
take
like
that.
there's a ton of people, and I love dogs too. So I'm in.
Yes,
Seriously.
dude. There's
Probably-
100 of us, dude.
Family-friendly,
It's
like
we're
puppy
getting
heist
caught.
movie. Sounds like a brilliant idea right
Just
now.
like FYI, there are like a ton of free rescues out there, so you can like get free dogs
No,
almost
dude.
anywhere. We get you so many dogs right now for free.
I know, but I want the ones that are trapped for some reason.
Oh, you want breeder dogs? Okay.
You know what I
want
mean?
puppy? You want to heist a puppy mill?
Yes, I want to heist
that's
puppy
beau-
mills.
that's
but then-
noble.
but
That's
at some
beautiful,
point,
man.
we're going to have to steal some money because we're going to have multiple acreage farm where all the dogs will live.
If and when you do this, I will commit to like going and buying a farm with the money I don't have and being a foster parent to all these puppies.
Yes, this is what. Yes, okay,
This
we
is
got it
coming
figured out.
together.
It's all figured out.
From puppies back to Cold Wallet, Cutter, a question for you, a two-part question about signing on for this movie. What was it about the story that appealed to you most, but also what was it about this story that appealed to you as a director who is continuing to evolve his craft?
Well, I was. The film actually originated as an idea around doxing. So we were developing a story around doxing, which is where someone's address gets released on the internet, and sometimes for nefarious reasons. And a friend of mine named Justin Staples sort of said, "Hey, why don't you do it about like a crypto heist thriller?" So John and I developed a screenplay around that sort of premise, but I was pretty into the kind of like meme culture around AMC and GameStop and Dogecoin and just kind of the riding that line between the humor of that you would see on these message boards, but then also the kind of like dark reality of what some people were experiencing. And I love when comedy can kind of mash up with something dark and nefarious. Is sort of my favorite thing.
I'm assuming you're well studied in that particular field. Now, I'm sure you guys did some research yourself. Is there anything in like that sector of the world and what you learned that, I don't know, was like shockingly dark or surprising? Something that really kind of like burrowed its way into your brains?
The one that's got me recently, and there's a ton. Like I watched a lot of documentaries to kind of get my mind around all of this stuff, and we were watching like Trust No One, and then the Elizabeth Holmes stuff, and then also honestly, like the Firefest documentary, all these just like characters who are just like basically hucksters. But there's a new one called Bitconned. Is that right? Yeah, Bitconned on Netflix. Yeah. And totally worth watching. The main character is like an absolute psychopath. He's like, when I was a kid, I knew like I just wanted to be a criminal. Like I always knew I wanted to be a criminal. So anyways, the story that stuck with me is that this guy, so they've basically like done what happens in the movie where they make all this money under false pretenses for a product that doesn't really exist. And then this guy gets reached out to, like gets a DM from one of their like investors who's like, I'm having trouble with my transaction or something. Can you help me? And he means to send his like transaction ID, but he sends his username and password to this guy who runs this company and is making literally $100 million off of people. And the guy's like, I couldn't help myself. I just logged into his account and transferred all that shit over to me. It's like, you were already, like, you're so soulless that you were already getting all the money and you were still like, I'm going to steal just a little bit more.
Oh, that stresses me out.
Right? For me, and just to kind of like piggyback on that, this wasn't like my research prior to the film. I think it was just like research in making the film. So we're in this little community of Lenox, Massachusetts, and we're all hanging out and going to meals in these restaurants, and people are curious. The locals are curious what we're doing and what we're shooting. And every time we'd be like, oh, we're doing a cryptocurrency thriller, they'd be like, oh, is it about the guy from here? And like about the third time that happened, I'm like, I have to Google this. And Sam Bankman-Fried's business partner is a local from Lenox. And when he made his billions, went in and bought all the restaurants, flew pro chefs up from New York, put like $10 million into this little town and all the restaurants. He owned like every single one.
One giant mattress, basically, he turned Lennox into.
And like, we're like, where is this dude? And supposedly he was like the first whistleblower, and that's why he's not doing like 30 years in prison right now. And then like, wow, the day I think we started principal shooting, we found out that 3 assailants in a truck had rammed Sam Bankman-Fried's front gate to try and confront him.
So it was very much life imitating art, and we were practically about to shoot these same scenes.
I just keep thinking of movie ideas. I feel like there's a meta quality to that where you're making like a crypto heist movie and it like is taking place as all of that's unfolding in the town you're shooting in.
Right.
Bananas.
To get into your characters a little bit and to tease, I don't want to spoil anything. I love asking this question. For each of you, at the beginning of like the heist kidnapping part, what do you think your own character thinks is his greatest strength, the thing that will help him pull it all off and get through it, but also what does he fear is his greatest weakness, the thing that'll do him in that situation?
Can I just say thank you for these questions,
Yeah,
which
these are
are
so awesome.
definitely
Super
next
fun.
level. And,
Thank you for saying that.
Well, thank you for like knowing about the movie and doing
I care.
homework. Yeah.
I care a lot.
Okay, I vamped. Do you want to go?
Sure, because I love, like, this is like, you know, one of my first things I do, kind of like, it's great because I try and have, you know, in my script you'll see like little motivations and things like that. And I just think with Dom specifically, I think he has this false sense that like his greatest strength is the fact that he's going to be able to keep the peace, that his heart is big enough to see this through without any violence or what. Like, he just has this delusion that he's going to be able to keep this thing in line. And we're going to get in and we're going to get out and it's going to be great. And then we'll be back to being good friends and life will go on. And I think that's also his greatest weakness, is that delusion that that's going to happen.
I feel like all too often your greatest strength winds up being your greatest weakness, and that stresses me out. Because I think it's true in reality too.
He's just got he's got a huge heart, and he wears it on his sleeve, and I think that's the best thing and the worst thing. Don't tell my wife I said that, because she might say that is also your greatest strength and greatest weakness. But yeah, I think that's for Dom. That's it for him.
Spot on.
Big heart. Sweet man.
Yeah.
Tony's a sweet man.
Just want all those puppies, man. I think Dom would too.
So I think when the S begins to hit the F, Hegel realizes that he is not going to have the physical prowess when compared to people like the character played by Tony and the character played by Raúl Castillo.
What are you talking about?
Obviously, that's different in real life because we did a lot of offset arm wrestling and just grappling, and I just absolutely destroyed both of them.
Wrestling.
But as a character, he does not have the physical prowess. So I think he thinks, well, I'm an intellectual giant, and I can manipulate people and use my brain for violence. And then I think, like all of these people, he thinks he's bulletproof and will never get caught and nothing will ever come back to haunt him. And he's a winner and he's gonna, see the movie.
Really. I mean, I was about, like, as you were explaining that, I'm like thinking about all the other things he does in the film. And
he does some stuff.
It's a couple of pretty badass shots of you. People, I feel like, don't expect you to play a villain very often. What was the most exciting thing about playing a villain in this movie? But then also, is there anything about, like playing a villain that still feels like a human being with complexity that kind of surprised you in terms of how you would achieve that?
Oh, great question. It's so fun, and yeah, it's not something I ever get to do, and I'm so grateful to Cutter and John Hybe for trusting me to do that, because John, the screenwriter and producer, actually told me, he was like, yeah, Cutter was like pretty sure it was you, and I fought him on it for a long time because I was like pretty sure it wasn't, but then like it worked out, and that's so cool to get a shot at something that just never comes my way. It's just super fun, and it was a blast doing it. I do remember one day, we had this awesome set medic who was like a ski patrol guy and just this like really cool dude who was around. And I remember we were like towards the end of the shoot, and we were just like chatting and kind of joking around. And he goes, "Wow, Josh, you're actually you're kind of like you're like a fun guy. I didn't expect that." And I was like, "Oh, what? Really?" And he was like, "I guess you were just kind of like in it because you were pretty like quiet, kind of like kept to yourself." I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't sure about you. So I guess the thing that I'm most surprised about is like some of that stuff creeps in a little bit in ways that I didn't even realize, but was kind of fun.
You are very, very effective with that. And I feel like especially with a movie like this where there are a lot of real world implications you're hinting at, you need to have the entertainment value that comes with a heist movie, but also keep things real and grounded enough to remind everybody that there are too many human beings who operate like that out there and could, I'll use your word, F us all over in a heartbeat. And it's very disturbing. Tony, for you now, I really wanted to ask you about your work with Raúl, because I mean, your friendship is a big part of like the beating heart of this movie. So what was it like creating that dynamic with him and making it so strong?
It was so fun. Just because I'm such a huge fan of his on like on the dramatic side. And I remember he was like, I don't do a lot of comedy. And I'm like, well, I don't do a lot of drama. And so immediately it was like this instant connection. And I knew like immediate buds, but that goes for all of us. We were just like immediate buds, but you know, we wanted to hang a bunch. So we were like already talking on the phone. Like him and his fiance, my wife makes jewelry, like bought a piece of jewelry for his fiance from my wife while we were there. I mean, it was like really immediate. Like I FaceTimed him day before yesterday. I was texting with him yesterday morning. It just was like we were bros from the get-go. We would go to the museums together and like look at art. I mean, it was like instantly. And you know, even that wrestling scene, I feel like we got some of the stuff we used was just us fucking around before we even like were doing the takes. So, and there was also very much kind of like him coming from one world, me coming from the other world, and just kind of like an immediate mesh, you know? And you know, very much like Dom's character, he is just such a giant, you know, giving heart and always wanting to learn and always into the craft. And so, you know, like I've said so many times before, it was just such a fun, like, summer camp in a very cold, wintry place vibe. You know, the four of us all in this back house of this old mansion living together. And like Melonie had her baby there for like 2 weeks with her husband, and friends would come in and out. And yeah, it was just a really great atmosphere that the clicking and the connection was pretty much immediate.
I'm a big believer you could feel those kinds of behind the scenes qualities radiating off the screen in the movie. So I would bet that here.
Yeah.
All right, Cutter, you're getting like the $1 million question here. It's something we were kind of like hinting at before. What is it like making an entertaining heist thriller, but about something as complex as cryptocurrency and these technologies that, like, I think more people than ever understand, but also still don't fully understand?
Yeah, it's. I think the movie's really ultimately it's a heist film that crypto plays obviously a critical role in it, but it's not, the technicalities of crypto aren't what the story's relying on. Story's relying on these great actors' instincts and all of the I guess all of the tension that's created from the heist genre to begin with. I think it just makes the movie a little bit fresh and current to sort of set it with it's in this world that's like this new bizarre currency. And I would always think, you know, when we would be doing these in intense scenes, you know, that it was all of this was because of some kind of like made up coin called tulip, you know, that existed. And when you really sort of zoom out, you think, God, it's really, really absurd that this is what's going. But at its heart, it's just it's a heist genre movie that's really fun, and crypto is sort of the MacGuffin, I suppose.
I have another question that kind of leans into this about like the visuals that you use in the movie. And I know there's some physical elements that they're going after here, but what is it like making a heist thriller where they're not going after like a pile of money, but it's something that requires a different kind of visual language in order to communicate?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because it is like crypto was the pile of money. Like crypto was supposed to be the bag of money. These devices that are ultimately just a key to access a bag of money. It really, again, comes down to just how are we creating all of this tension and excitement and you know, around their desires and the characters' motivations. Like at the end of the day, the bag of money you never really see. You know, it's all digital numbers, and So I guess in that sense, it's kind of like relying on the heart of the film and the heart of the characters to make that matter, to make this like off-screen, unknown digital item have some meaning.
It's true of any film. Like, the high concept is important, but it's the heart and the characters and the authenticity to them that matters.
Yeah, and I really like I can't say enough about like all of the instinct of our cast. Like what you were just talking about with kind of you two coming from a more like comedy and improv background, and Melonie and Raúl coming with these like great dramatic chops, and which everybody had, but each person sort of stepping just slightly into something new. I think required a lot of trust and required everybody to feel like they were allowed to do that, and I was just really proud of what we achieved in that sense, and really proud of you guys, and really proud of Raúl and Melonie in that sense, because it was everyone taking, like, and in your case, in your character's case, I think this has been there all along. Like, I think you've been able to play a villain all along, but
that's who I really am.
Yeah,
the rest of it is all all
like,
make believe.
I've always seen you as a villain.
Finally get to be myself on camera.
I'll take a swing with that. If you could play the big bad in the movie franchise of your choice, what would you pick and why? Like, you're going to be like, I don't know, like a Sith Lord or like a a super villain, or...
I mean... Yeah, it's gonna be something Lord of the Ringsy for sure. Yeah, I mean, Harry Potter probably, but like, yeah, like to be a kind of like Sauron henchman that's where I'm going for sure. Like try to modulate my voice to do like a Christopher Lee kind of thing.
Sick.
I feel like you could do it.
I actually can't, but would be awesome.
I'm the villain of the next Jurassic movie, and it's all meta, and I'm the person who's obsessed with the pre-existing movies, learn nothing from them, and still creates dinosaurs that take over the earth.
I just saw something today about that. There's like a woolly mammoth or something being, tested, and it's like, did we learn nothing?
Literally, like, everybody knows that I'm obsessed with Jurassic, so anytime there is any kind of experimentation like that, like, my Twitter feed gets flooded with don't forget to look at this. Like, your Jurassic dream is becoming a reality. I will end with my supercut question. It's a question that I'm asking to everybody that I interview. It's a little more serious. I feel like there's a lot of negativity in this industry, and I don't like it, so I want to shine a spotlight on the positive. Can you each name a recent film you saw that gives you hope for the future of Hollywood?
Anatomy of a Fall blew my mind. I don't know if it gives me hope, but it was amazing.
It's incredible.
It's just it was really good.
I'm still riding the Coda wave. I know it's a couple years ago, but oh my gosh, that movie. Just sitting there with my niece and my nephew and watching that movie, sobbing my eyes out with tears of joy. And my niece looks to my brother and goes, "Uncle Tony's crying again." I just loved that film.
I feel like you were in good company on that. I've watched it too many times, cry every single time.
Oh my Lord.
I'm blanking on the title. This Nick Cage movie that just came out recently, where he's
Dream Scenario.
Dream Scenario.
Oh, I still want to see that.
I love that. I thought that was I really loved that.
That story is absolutely fascinating. Yeah. I feel like that also needs an anthology film expansion, where in different universes, a different famous actor is the person who appears in everyone's dream, and then I don't know, it just like explores how that could differentiate the situation.
Hey-o. I also love Somebody Somewhere on HBO. That show always just gives me a big smile on my face.
There's something I haven't watched. I'm always here at these interview tables for homework. I love getting homework.
Bridget Everett, it's amazing.
Great I will check that out, and I will tell everybody watching right now, keep an eye out for Cold Wallet. Huge congratulations. Enjoy celebrating at South by.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.